Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this episode of Spreadsheet Gaming. You guys might notice I have a new page here that you haven't seen yet, and that's because I'm going through the regular YouTuber rite of passage of forgetting to turn the microphone on before recording. So we're going to have to re-record this section, but no big deal. Like I said, it's a necessary step of every YouTuber's journey. I made sure that the microphone is in fact recording this time around, so we should be good. Alright, so in this episode, we're going to go ahead and make a calendar so that we can go ahead and track that in our games. And we're also going to make this turn tracker. As you guys can see, I already went through it and added some formulas here, but I'm just going to go ahead and go through that demonstration with you guys again once we get to it. But first things first, let's go ahead and do this calendar. Now I'm going to show you guys something new. We're going to be using the autofill feature here. I'm going to start by typing in the month January. For this one, we're going to use the regular months of the year. We're also going to use D100 World Builder's rules of using 30 days for every single month, just to keep it simple. And there's an easy way for us to keep track of the days of the year. And obviously, guys, if you want to, change the months up here, it doesn't have to be this. You can, use Forgotten Realms time period or Galarian's or whomever's. We're going to insert a checkbox here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go down to December and add in that 30 there. And we've got 30 days for each individual month. And then to keep track of all these days, I'm going to go ahead and do a Countif formula. This one I'm going to start by typing in day and putting in a space here. And then I have to do the ampersand symbol. And then I'm going to start my formula. Like I said, it's the Countif formula. We're going to check over this entire range. And the criterion is true. We've got the day string here. And then I told it to attach the results of the Countif formula to that string, and what it's giving me is day 0. And if I start checking these, you guys can see here we've got day 14, 13, 12, 11, so on and so forth. Now, obviously, it's not going to stop you from tracking these days out of order, so you guys are going to have to, make sure that you keep track of that yourselves. Beyond that, this is a nice and simple game calendar for you guys to keep track of. For hex crawls, or if you guys are, using time-based events, obviously, you can go ahead and track the calendars that way. One thing that I did in one of my games, when there was an event on a certain day, like let's just say July 12th, no, that's June, July 12th, what you can do is if you right-click over here, you can add a comment, and you can just say, Dragon Assault on Stratford. And that way, as you guys get through the months, you remember, oh, we are at July 12th, where the Dragon Assault begins. And again, you can see the day tracker here. Now, in my opinion, because you're only going to be tracking years every so often, once you guys do finish the entire calendar, I'd recommend just typing in year over here, adding in a 1, and then obviously as you guys get to year 2, doing the same thing, so on and so forth. I think that's the simplest and easiest way for Dungeon Masters to keep track of that sort of thing. And let's go ahead and name this calendar, or we'll call it, we'll just call it calendar. All right, now we've got our turn tracker. Let me go ahead and take a look at the book here. So we have 6 turns, basically 10-minute turns per hour. It looks like on the 2nd, 4th, and 6th turns, we have to check for wandering monsters. On the 6th turn, we have to rest, and we also have to expend a torch. And then if we're using lanterns, it's actually 4 hours later that we have to replace that. So, coming back over here, let's just go ahead and start a new handy-dandy sheet. And we're going to use that same autofill feature. I'm just going to do turn 1, turn 2, and we'll go ahead and drag this on over to turn 6. We're going to insert 4 sets of checkboxes here. We're going to use this G column here as a helper column. I think that's going to make our formulas a little cleaner here. Just like in the last example, we're going to do count if. We're going to count across this range, and we're going to check if it's true. So basically, if it's true, it gives us those numbers there. And then we need to do our, we need to check our results here. So we're going to do, just like in the first episode, we did our ifs formula. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to say if this cell equals 2, then I want a wandering monster. If this cell equals 4, then I want a wandering monster. And if this cell equals 6, then I want wandering monster, torch, and rest. Now, when I do this, I'm going to get an error if I don't have any results for, say, 0 or 1, 3, and 5. So to get rid of this ugly error, I'm going to use this formula called if error. And basically all that does is it says, run this calculation, and if you run into any kind of error, what do you want to put here? I'm just going to make it a blank space, and I'm going to close that up, hit enter. We are good to go there. And let me just go ahead and copy these down. You guys can see here. Oh, oops. Got to finish the count if too. You guys can see here that as I count these up, you get the same kind of results. Now for this bottom one, it's almost the same, but remember as we looked at the Bookshare for hour number 4, that's if we wanted to go ahead and blow up our lantern oil. So I'm just going to go ahead and add to this formula. Instead of torch, we'll just say torch or lantern, oil, and rest. And so if I were to check every single one of these, all of them are the same, except for obviously this last one during hour number 4, which is of course checking for lantern, oil, and rest. And just to make this a little bit cleaner, let's go ahead and put a column over here. We're going to delete these and we'll say hour 1, hour 2. Let's see if autofill will be nice with us on this one. Yes, it will. Okay, hour 3 and hour 4. So now we've got a nice little time tracker here for us. Yeah, if you only need to check for wandering monsters, you've got that information there. And once you fill this up, you need to expend a torch, add some rest. And guys, if you want to track for torches, you can go ahead and add yourself a section, torch, lantern, oil. And let's just say in this case, they use 3 of those, 1 of those. And each time you have to keep track, just go ahead and make yourself a nice little section down here. Let's call this the dungeon. Well, I'll call this the, let's leave it alone for now. Yeah, one other thing, we do have to hide this column because we don't actually need to see it anymore. It's just a helper column for us. Let's call this notes, make that a little bit bigger, bold that out, and we are good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this shorter episode of Spreadsheet Gaming. Really, we just had to come back in here and, you know, redo this, clean this up, fix it. But now that we got that all taken care of, this should be a nice, easy tracker for you guys to go ahead and continue on. Don't forget about the comments here, the comment section on the spreadsheet and on my channel. But yeah, use the comments here to keep track of any time-based events, guys. That's an easy way for you to realize what in the heck is going on and when. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.